Hi everyone. Today I am talking to the CEO of Grandcarers SA, Mike Feszcak, and I'll let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about himself, and then we'll start talking about the amazing service that they are providing grandparent carers in South Australia. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
Is there anything you want to do you want to tell everyone something about yourself, or do you want to just get straight
Yeah,
into
look,
it?
I'll get started. I'm the CEO of Grandcarers SA. I've got a background in the criminal justice system and in local government. And I was the first paid employee of Grandcarers SA. At the time, it was called Grandparents for Grandchildren, but I'll talk about that a little later. Um, and Grandcarers SA is a small not-for-profit doing a lot of work, punching above its weight and primarily supporting grandparents and some other informal kinship carers, where they are full-time carers of children from their families and looking after them full-time as parents, but are not being supported by, particularly by state government, and not that well by the federal government either. So we try to fill some of the gaps. It's difficult with the resources and the finances that we have available, but we try to fill some of the gaps by providing peer support, personal one-on-one support, and also a little bit of financial support. So a small organization until 4 years ago was purely volunteer-led and volunteer-run. And we still rely very, very heavily on volunteers.
Yeah. What kind of services do you currently provide to
Yeah.
grandparent carers, or as you mentioned, some other kinship carers?
Yeah, I will look because the history of the organization is that we started 23 years ago with a group of grandparents who got together who were full-time carers of their kids, and eventually we became incorporated, and eventually they started getting other volunteers on board and providing supports. At that time, it was called Grandparents for Grandchildren. So historically, the majority of our clients, probably 95% of our clients, are grandparents.
Mm.
And what we provide them with is we have a telephone helpline, which is open Monday to Thursday, where we provide a listening ear, if nothing else. And 98% of our clients who have been surveyed recently, 98% of our clients have said that they feel listened to when they're in Grand Carers SA. Um, so we provide that telephone helpline, which not just provides a listening ear, but provides us with an opportunity to try to find some solutions or referrals for the clients so that they can go to an agency or get advice about how to approach the government about different things that come up in their life. So there's that personal support. We do a little bit of that one-on-one as well. But telephones and emails now, particularly since COVID, have taken over, and we did 7,000 emails last year. So we do a lot of work in the background to support our clients on a one-on-one basis. We also have peer support. So those are our villages. Now, villages are just monthly meetings of groups of clients in 12 different locations across South Australia, everywhere from Port Lincoln to Murray Bridge to Nuri to Christie's Beach and lots of different places in between. Um, and they get together monthly, and we're trying to make it much more of a social connection, much more of something that breaches their isolation, but also gives them an opportunity, should they wish, to raise the challenges that they currently have and try to find solutions. Because there's people in that group who have been doing it for a good number of years and we can support each other as well as our volunteer or our social worker that goes and supports them. So that's that peer group. And some of those groups meet in between as well. They've formed friendship groups because they become very isolated. Our grandparent carers, particularly, all their peers are off doing their own thing, not looking after kids full time anymore. And if they do look after the kids, they hand them back after a couple of days. So it's very, very different. So they become very socially isolated. One of the other things we do, one of our main streams, is our Education and Development Fund. So we apply for grants from philanthropic organisations and we get donations, and we spend that money reimbursing the clients for the purchase of things like school uniform, sports kit, musical instruments, different extracurricular lessons or outings to try to make sure that the children in their care are not falling behind their peers at school and are keeping up with, turning up in the right uniform or having the right sports kit when they're playing sports. That's really, really important to the children, and we have limits on that because it's not a never-ending fund. Last year it was $67,000 that we were able to spend. The year before that was $107,000. So it really depends on what we're able to gain through grants and donations. And the majority of it is grants. We're not that well known. We don't get a huge number of donations. But we do try to support our clients. And we've got a wall in the office which has got about 14 or 15 framed photographs of lots and lots of different kids with wearing their kit that their grandparents have proudly bought for them. So
No.
that's one of the things that we do. And we do other things as well. We have a Christmas party. We've just had 14 families on the Popeye boat on the River Torrens doing a cruise that was paid for by one of our funders, the James and Diana Ramsey Foundation. So we do lots of other bits and pieces and try to support our carers as best we can. And when I say support our carers, we've got 1,000 plus on our books. So it's not just half a dozen people.
Yeah.
This is a lot of people
Yeah.
across the state, probably a third of the grandparent carers across the state who are caring for 2,000 children.
Yeah.
So
And
it's not just a,
are you finding that the numbers are growing as the years have gone by? Have
yeah,
they
I
grown?
mean, since I started nearly 4 years ago, and in that time, our active clients have increased by 30%. And what we've done recently, we've had a bit of a review of our clients, and we've run all of our clients and found that about about a quarter of them were actually no longer active clients and actually didn't need us anymore. So we've taken them off our books. That's reduced our number, but we've had an increase of 30% of active clients as well. So that's why it's over 1,000 again now, and it's going to keep going. We get new clients every week.
Yeah. And of course, then for those numbers of grandparents to be increasing, that means that there are more children who aren't living with their parents. So
Yeah.
what do you find? Is there a common theme when a grandparent reaches out to you and they're in need of support? Is there something that you're hearing kind of across the board from those grandparents that they really need?
Yeah. Um, well, the two things that our clients tell us they need is one is recognition because they're not recognized by the state government or the federal government under the legislation if they're an informal carer. So that's where they have, and two-thirds of our clients are informal carers. So that's where they are caring for a child full-time under an informal arrangement without any legal documentation or order over there to support them. So they need recognition, and the second thing they need is a financial contribution from the state and the federal government. That they are allowed to claim some federal allowances and Centrelink, but they get nothing from the state. And when you consider that formal carers, those who have got a guardianship order or something similar, they can claim between $14,000 and $60,000 per child per year, and our clients who are informal carers can claim nothing from the state. So that's one of our election commitments. And I'm happy to talk about the election commitments in a minute, but that's what they are asking for. They want just a bit of help. They are the average age of our clients is 65.
Yeah.
But a large majority of those are pensioners or people who are living either on a state pension or on their superannuation. They suddenly find themselves with a child or children that they at a time of life when they didn't expect it, and they've got to care for that child, provide a safe and nurturing home and environment on limited resources, where they were planning for their retirement, and now all of a sudden that funding is concertinaed into looking after those children. And that's why we're looking for funding for our grandparent carers, particularly. It is a nonsense that they are not treated equally because they are full-time carers.
Yeah, and I agree because I've also spoken to the Premier about it, and I believe that if we fund these grandparents, we support those placements to stay in place, because should they break down, odds are they're going to end up within the child protection system.
Absolutely
So,
right. I mean, there's no doubt at all that our clients and the other people out there doing the same job who are not our clients
Yep.
are saving the government tens of millions of dollars, probably more. I did some work recently with a guy who did a video for us, and he put on the video that we are saving the government billions of dollars. And I went, where did he get the billions from? And we did the sums, and
Absolutely.
it is, but it doesn't sound right. It
No.
just sounds unbelievable. But when you consider that to put a child in residential care can cost anything between $500,000 and $1.5 million per child per year,
Yeah.
then what our clients are saving the government and what our clients are doing to keep children out of the child protection system is enormous. Not
Yeah.
only enormous for the government, but enormous for the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are in the family, they are in their own cultural environment. So it's really important for them that they maintain those family connections.
Yeah. I believe that if we can keep any child out of the child protection system, we should do whatever we can
Absolutely.
to ensure, the child protection system is not kind, and it's traumatizing for a child to be taken away from their family,
Absolutely.
and then just as traumatizing to be within a system if they don't need to be. It's just common sense, isn't it? Like, to help
Absolutely.
these grandparents.
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst it's a huge burden on the grandparents, they are pleased to do it. They
Yeah.
just want some help. I
Yeah.
mean, they would rather not have to do it. And invariably, it's their children that are the cause of them having to look after their grandchildren. But they do it, they do it willingly and they do it well. And we see the results of the children who are coming out of the other end and getting careers and becoming good people. Whether they would have done that in their circumstances and the majority of the circumstances they come from to the grandparents is drug abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, mental health issues, all those ills of society. And there are other reasons as well. Sometimes it's because the parents are no longer alive.
Yeah.
But all those different reasons, that's why the children end up in a better place because they're at a safe place, they're with family, and they are being well looked after as best our carers can under very, very difficult circumstances.
Yeah. And I think if kids can't be with their parents, there's no one better than their grandparents. Because I know growing
Yeah,
up, my grandparents were, um, I don't know, they were just so valued and up on a pedestal and the most special people in our lives.
yeah,
And I see so many children within the child protection system that are prevented from seeing their grandparents.
yeah,
And I just feel like that has a huge impact generation after generation, because everyone's stepping away from that close family network and that support network. And instead, we're all out looking for a village. We're trying to find a village to kind of support us. And the informal grandcarers are, I think they're all amazing, and that there's not enough done for them. Yeah.
yeah. I just want to clarify for anybody who watches this that
Uh,
these are children that are quite often removed by the Department of Child Protection and left with grandparents because that's the best place for them to go. And even the social workers for the Department of Child Protection know that. We know that nationally, where children are removed by a child protection authority, they are over 50% go to grandparents. And but one of the reasons I changed our name to Grandcarers, I know we're focused on grandparents, and quite rightly we should focus on the grandparents. But one of the reasons I rebranded as Grandcarers SA is because I wanted us to be more inclusive. Because there are aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters who are also in that situation and have become carers of children from their full-time carers of their family. And they are on our system and we do support them. We don't, to be honest, I don't care. As long as people are a full-time carer of someone from their family, they can, more than happy to join us. There's no fee to join us. They don't need a formal referral. There's just a registration process, and it's very, very easy to join our organisation.
uh-huh.
Yeah, there was
So,
something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was.
um, so we have the election coming up in
Mm,
March. So tell everybody a little bit about the
yeah,
commitment
happy to.
that you're asking all candidates, I guess, to step up, because
Yeah,
it's not just the major parties that can
yeah,
commit to pledging their support. So
yeah.
it's really important.
And thank you for the opportunity to tell you about that, Lisa. I have written to every political party and every independent as well
Yeah.
that's running for the election in South Australia. Um, I've not written to every MP, but every MP knows about what we're doing. I've spent the last year and a half advocating for this point. Um, and we've basically got three asks. The first ask is what we've already discussed, which is about funding grandparent carers. There's only one state or territory in the country that provides financial support to informal grandparent carers, and that's in WA. And in WA, they pay $1,000 per child per annum. Now, that doesn't sound very much, but that's $1,000 per child per annum more than our clients are currently getting. And had a campaign for some time to try to persuade the government, particularly Minister Hildyard, to try to bring this on board. I haven't had a response as yet, but we are asking for something similar to the WA pro, found can't speak financial support that they're given in WA, and I think it's important. And then that $1,000 is can go a long way to buying those school things and to buying some food. I mean, it might only be 3 or 4 shops at Woolies or Coles or whatever it might be, but it helps. And I know that that's what they are looking for. That's what our grandparent carers are screaming out for, is that financial support. It's a small step for the government. It's not asking a huge amount of money. In fact, we've estimated that it'll cost the government about $3 million a year. Now, $3 million a year in the government's
Uh,
financial financials is peanuts. It is a
yeah.
drop in the ocean. It is not a lot of money, and we're hoping that this government or the next government will take it on board. Um, one of the other things that we're asking for is we want some funding for our organisation. We are a small organisation. At the moment, we have 3 part-time employees, including myself, plus we have a social worker who's on secondment from the state government at the moment. And she's fantastic, Sue, as well, by the way. We need some additional funding. We need some funding so that we can reach more clients with better services. And one of the things you asked about the increase in number of clients, but also what's happened, Lisa, is that the demands for support have got greater from those clients. Their cases are more complex, the bureaucracy is more complex, and they need more and more support. We are currently reaching a dozen places across South Australia with our villages. I want to reach more. I want us to do more outreach. I want us to do more workshops. One of the things we have done is we've done workshops for our clients in various places across South Australia so that we can inform and support them to look after the children that are in their care and help them gain access to the various services that are out there. So we have run these workshops. I want to be able to provide more of that. And if we get the right funding, I want to be able to provide financial counselling, legal counselling, and general counselling as well. But that costs money. I can't get people to come in and do that for free. Unfortunately, volunteering has changed. There's a drop in volunteering across the nation, and we need funding to be able to provide that support. We've actually had to reduce the level of our services slightly to manage the bank account that we've got, and that's sad. And if the government don't come to the table, then that's going to have to continue, and what we provide is going to have to diminish just by the law of funding.
Yeah.
The third thing that we're asking for funding for is for a social worker. I mentioned Sue, who's with us at the moment. She's on secondment. We've got her till the end of March. What she's done is, because she's a senior social worker, because she's got 22 years experience, because she's an informal grandparent carer, believe it or not, she knows what it's like out there for our clients. But she also understands the system, and she understands what the carers are going through, and she provides a level of service that we've never been able to provide before. With that knowledge, with that experience, with that understanding, At the moment, that service is just delivered by phone, by email, and by the odd one-to-one. What I really would like to do is do much more case management, much more one-on-one, much more home visits. Not that we do those now, so would like to start home visits so that we could provide that personalized support for our clients with an authority that knows what they're talking about. And so we need, apart from the funding for the organization, we need funding or a continuance of that secondment for a social worker. Those are our three asks. They're not complicated.
No.
More money for grandparents, more money for us, and give us a social worker. That's it.
Yeah, it's, we're forever hearing that everything's complicated, everything's complex, but the people down here at the grassroots, we're all saying it isn't complex. It's not hard. We're giving you the solutions, and the solutions are going to save taxpayers money in the long run.
Absolutely.
They're going to better support the carers, and we're going to get better outcomes for children.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
It's simple, isn't it? It's not difficult.
It is.
I'm just I'm an ex-cop actually, and my background, I hate injustice, and the injustice that governments serve our clients and carers in a lot of different areas is just appalling. And the situation that we currently find ourselves in, when I first started here, I couldn't believe the situation that our clients were in. I didn't know much about it. I know an awful lot more now, as you've probably gathered, but I really couldn't believe the injustice of it, and that's what we're trying to rectify to some degree.
Yeah. So if there is anybody out there that wanted to perhaps, I don't know, maybe they have a law firm or they have some other kind of business or service and they wanted to perhaps volunteer a few hours a week or offer a product or something, like anyone can make contact with you, can't they, and say, hey, Mike, we would love to provide this for your grandcarers.
Absolutely. Look, our website is grandcarers.au. Again, that's simple too, grandcarers.au. Our email address, our general contact address is contact us, one word, contact us at grandcarers.au. So it's pretty simple. We've tried to keep things readily accessible, grandcarers.au or contact us at grandcarers.au. And I'd be happy to hear from anybody. And if people really want to donate to us, there's an option to do that on the website as well. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about the plight of carers and how we want to try and make things better for them.
Yeah, and it's about the village, isn't it? Everyone's doing it so tough at the moment, whether it's cost of living, whether it's supporting children. It's getting harder and harder, and that the village needs to grow, regardless of where people are from, what they can offer.
Yeah, I mean, to put how people are struggling into perspective to some degree, we had a client recently, a grandmother, ringing us up. She wanted to send her grandson, excuse me, on a school excursion, but she couldn't afford to pay the fee for the school excursion. So she rang us up. She was in tears. It was $15.
Oh.
Now, that's 2 cups of coffee to an awful lot of people.
Yeah.
$15. She's in tears. I can't find $15. We had a client recently who told us off because we had to cancel a workshop.
Oh.
She didn't get the message, unfortunately, that the workshop was cancelled. She told us off because she'd used some of the kilometres that she had allowed herself in her car to go to the workshop, found it was closed and had to drive home again. So that cost her 14 kilometres. She is counting the kilometres that she drives because she knows what she can afford.
Yeah.
So that's the situation. That's the bitter reality that people don't get, I think. And I think those are 2 really good examples of just how people are struggling.
Yeah. And that's, even for the informal carers, for government to cover the costs of school excursions wouldn't cost a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Look, I've had discussions with the Minister for Education. One of the things that we've done is the school card. A lot of our clients have got access to the school card and don't realise it, and that's because the application form of the school card didn't look as if it included them. So one of the things that we have done and we have managed to do is persuade the Department of Education to change the application form, change the language in the application form, and to make it clear that informal kinship carers can apply for the school card, as an example.
Yeah.
So that's, that's that advocacy piece that we do. One of the other things we've done is we've changed the SA ambulance service application for grandparent carers, informal carers, so they don't have to pay the fee for a call out for an ambulance as well.
Amazing. Yeah.
So that support that was out there, that was excluding grandparent carers, particularly, we've managed to change through advocacy, and that's very much a part of what we do in here as well. Those little wins keeps me going for a start, but it keeps them going as well.
But they sound like little wins, but they're not little wins. They're big wins and
Yeah.
life changing sometimes, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
therefore they're life changing for the kids because no child wants to miss out on a school excursion when everybody else is going to school and going.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where you go, look, I'll pay for it myself type of thing, it's
Yeah, yeah,
$15, and yet she was desperate.
sad.
Yeah, it
It's
is. It is.
sad.
But there's some really good stories as well, Lisa.
Yeah, yeah,
We have got some fantastic kids that have been brought up by their grandparents. We've just had an email from one of our regulars whose son is now going through the officer corps in the army. Sorry, grandson is now going through the officer corps in the army. He's been brought up
yeah,
because of the way that he's been brought up by his grandparents. And we see that all the time. We see the little girl who's now winning gold medals at state dance competitions, or the kid who's winning motorbike races, or it just all these
yeah,
really, really good stories that are coming out of
yeah.
it because of
But
the
there
care.
there are amazing people, and I know some homeschooling and their kids are winning swimming medals,
Yeah,
and it's amazing. And I don't think anybody kind of grows up and works, has their kids, sees retirement coming, and then thinks that could all change at that moment. And there's not going to be a retirement. There's not going to be a holiday. Um, there's not going to be Friday nights with their mates at the pub, or, it's just life changing overnight, isn't it?
it is. And one of the things that struck me when I first started and talking to some of the grandcarers was when one of them said, "I can't be a grandparent anymore. I'm
Yeah.
now a parent, and I'm a grandparent to some of my grandchildren, but for these two, I can't be a grandparent anymore." And there was a grief that went along with that,
Yep.
because no longer can they be a grandparent, and it's really difficult for them, particularly when the grandkids are around, because striking that balance is really, really difficult for them. And that really struck a chord with me. Just what the impact is. When I go around to different organisations and speak about Grandcarers SA, and quite often they're organisations that have got an older membership, and I say, "How many grandparents are here?" And lots of hands go up, and I say, "How many of you would like to look after your children full time?" And there's never a hand that stays up. They all put their hand down. They went, "No, no, I don't want to do that. I'm quite happy to give them back." I'm
Yeah.
absolutely shattered after an afternoon with my grandkids, and that's
Yeah.
the kind of feedback I get. But our clients don't they haven't got the facility to give the kids back.
Yeah.
They're 24/7.
Exactly.
So yeah,
No, they're amazing. So what I'm going to do is when I upload this video, I'm going to put the links to the website and any other contact details on there,
thank you.
and then we'll share it across social media. So anybody can reach out and make contact with you. And hopefully we have candidates in the election that watch and have a bit of a think, and that they're all willing to step up and say, actually, we are all willing to commit to providing that in the least. And maybe they might have some other ideas around how they can even better support you.
Thank you,
So
Lisa. Really appreciate this opportunity, and more power to your elbow.
thank you, Mike. It's nice talking to you.
Good to talk to you. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye.